Well, after a lull, it appears that foreclosures have picked up once again. In fact, August was a record bad month for folks who are behind in their payments in their homes. So Bryan Garrity is here this morning, our real estate expert, to talk about what this means for you and trying to take a long-term approach to this. So August was that bad?
Record. Now, there was, in terms of the last 5 years, the year before was bad in August, but this has been something we didn't expect to see. People are thinking that the tide is going to slowly start turning, the ship is slowly turning. No, it isn't. The banks have become even more well-oiled machines and are up and ready to foreclose.
So Big Daddy's on a crusade
yeah,
here.
I'm over it. The people need to get, the people really, the people that have been sitting, I say this every time, but it keeps coming in. If you're sitting on the sideline, if you've been trying to modify for 1 or 2 years, 3 years, whatever it's been, it's like it's time to get into somebody, come in, talk to us, talk to somebody. Do not pay advance fees. Remember, there's a lot of scammers out there that do that. Do not pay for a loan modification, period. I don't care how wonderful the terms sound or are. You can get it from your bank, but you need to come in because these days of sitting in your house for 2.5 years and not making a payment are going to quickly come to a stop.
So as you start fighting for people,
Right.
when they come in and say, look, I'm dealing with either a foreclosure or I'm close to being behind on my payments or I'm trying to do a short sale, when you start fighting for people, where do you start?
Depends on the situation.
Okay.
But I'd say, generally speaking, the people come in and are close to crumpled. Some of them have not made their payment for an extended period of time. In that case, I immediately jump into the bank and do whatever we can to halt the process. If they're contemplating options, we do that too. And sometimes the answer that I'm able to give, which is the honest answer, it may not be the answer you want to hear, but I'm going to tell the people what's in their best advice, best situation. Sometimes it means walking away, and I think we've talked about that too.
Yeah, well, this is the thing that we want to kind of protect people from, is the folks out there that will tell them they can help them at a price.
Right.
And they string them along for a period of time, and you're of the opinion that, you know what, there comes a time when there is no more you can do. It is time to walk away and not make the situation worse.
Right, and compound it, or open an exposure. And there's new legislation that's in, and all the banks are trying to interpret the legislation in terms of deficiency balances and short sales, and can they or cannot come after you. I mean, there is a sea of information you'd have to wade through, be really proficient in order for you to make a good decision. And calling the bank to get advice, I'm sorry. You could call 4 different times within the same day, 4 different people, and get 4 different answers.
If I had not gone through that myself and tried to, I still have an adjustable rate loan. I'd like to get a fixed rate loan, and
right.
So I've called multiple times to try to deal with that. You're exactly right. I spent all day on the phone.
All day.
I got 4 different answers to my question, and in the end, I looped right back around to the beginning, which was, there's really nothing you can do.
Yeah.
You're making your payments. Why would we want to negotiate with you? That's just my situation.
Right.
One of everybody's situation is different.
Right. And I mean, people come in and they're current on their payments and they're draining their IRA and they're draining their savings and they're like, I can't do a short sale, I'm current. It's like, well, you're current until that IRA's gone and your savings are gone and you're left with nothing. So sometimes just because there's a little money left, people will say, oh, you've got to be totally wiped out to do a short sale, this, that, the other thing. But I mean, every situation's different. If you're sitting on the couch, $1 million plus properties are getting hit the hardest. One of our more affluent cities, there were 14 notice of trustee sales issued in one area. Not one of those properties was listed. So that's crazy. So that means none of those people in those $1 million plus properties took any type of positive action to try to rectify the situation. Believe me, whether in a $90,000 condo or $1 million plus property, you're still in the same situation. You need to get help and you need to do it early. You
so
need
this
to
is what
come
we're
in.
urging folks to do, is to give you a call, let you
Come on
examine their
in.
situation
Right.
Immediately, sooner rather than later, no matter
ASAP.
where you are in this process. Now, I want to touch on the foreclosures just quickly before we wrap up here. There is a school of thought that says there's a certain amount of this foreclosure business and this bad news that actually may be good news in the long run. If we can get some of these foreclosures out of the pipeline, the market will start to recover.
Yes, if we could, if that would happen, and I think the banks are starting to see and get pressure overall government to start moving some of these properties. So, like I'm saying, the days of sitting in your house for 2 years not making a payment are quickly coming to an end. And 1 in 570 houses in the U.S. are in foreclosure right now. That's scary.
Yeah, it really is.
I mean, it really is. So, but if you're sitting there, if you're in that situation, don't wait. Come in. Spend the whole afternoon with us. It's fine. But I will guarantee you that by the time you leave there, you have options and answers.
And that's what you need, is options, especially in this market. So go see Bryan Garrity, our real estate expert here, and really in this really tough time right now.
It is tough.
I want Big Daddy fighting for me.
We've
adopted this Big Daddy thing. I did not make this up.
I'm ready. I'm here.
You mentioned it one time, and I said, that's your label from now on.
That's it. I got it.
Okay.
Thanks, Marc.
Brian, it's always good to see you.
All right,
Thank you, sir. All right, for more information, you go to san diego6.com. You click on San Diego Living, and we'll get you hooked up with Bryan Garrity.